さあ、絶望してくれるなよ。
Hey guys, and welcome to another video. I hope you're all doing well and you're all safe. Now I hadn't planned to make this video, but here we are, so let's move on. Now a few days ago we got a reveal of a new Ichigo, which was for the Bleach Brave Soul's 5th anniversary. And I know most of you must have asked yourselves, how strong is this Ichigo? Now in this video I'm not going to straight out state how strong this Ichigo is, but I'm going to give you 5 facts which will at least help you determine how strong this Ichigo is. Now that we're all on the same page, let's move on. The first thing you have to note about this Ichigo is the black hair. As we all know, there's actually a version of Ichigo that has black hair, and that's Mugetsu. So that means in some way, shape or form, Mugetsu is actually incorporated into this Ichigo. It may have been that maybe when Ichigo went into Mugetsu in this version, he retained his power, or he actually learned of a way to harness the powers of Mugetsu but retain it and not lose his Shinigami powers. Now the second thing you have to take note of is the sword which he's carrying, and I feel this is the most important part of this Ichigo. This sword may be random or may look like a disappointment to most of you, but for those who read the manga, we got a mini story about Masaki and Isshin and how they met. In their first meeting, they actually fought a holo which was released by Aizen into a city. And this holo that they fought was known as White, and it had arms which looked exactly like or was shaped like the sword this Ichigo has. Now this may mean one thing, like how we know Ichigo used to harness his holo powers through the holo mask, it may mean that this Ichigo harnesses his holo powers through the sword, and that's the only reason I can come up with to explain or link the sword that this Ichigo is carrying to canonicity. The fourth thing to note about this Ichigo is the red Reiatsu that's around him. We know Ichigo's holo Reiatsu is red in color, as we saw with the Zero he fired when he entered into his Vastolode or full holo form. Also the Getsuga Tensho he used to use while his holo mask was on used to be dark red or something close to that. And the fifth thing you need to note about the new Ichigo is his garments, which look very similar to that of Fullbring Ichigo and similar to the beat up Ichigo who arrived in Soul Society to confront Yuha. With those 5 things, we can actually try and discover how strong this Ichigo is. First of all, the main point is the black hair which we've connected to Mugetsu Ichigo. So if Mugetsu is actually part of this Ichigo, then that means this Ichigo is as powerful as true Shikai Ichigo, because Yuha, when he saw Ichigo, he stated that Ichigo had finally recovered or regained the power he used to defeat Aizen, and we know the power he used to defeat Aizen with was the power of Mugetsu. The second thing is the sword that this Ichigo is carrying. We know that this sword resembles the arms which White had. With that, we can at least determine that this Ichigo has somehow to some extent harnessed his holo powers. Now I'll be logical and just state that I think this sword gives him as much of a buff as the Horn of Salvation gives him while in his true Shikai. And even if you disagree with that, I think we can all agree that the Fullbring powers which is visible through the platings on his body combined with the sword will at least give him the same level of power as true Shikai Ichigo with the Horn of Salvation. And I believe that's as far as this Ichigo goes, because there aren't any major factors to suggest that this Ichigo is more powerful than the Horn of Salvation Ichigo with his true Shikai. I know there's the Fullbring Bankai Shihakusho, but we can just assume that's his basic Shinigami powers and nothing significant. And as I said before, this video is not definitive. I mean, I arrived at this conclusion from just looking at a picture of this guy. So when we get more information about him, I might redo this video. Tomorrow we're gonna get a sub story or an event about this guy and the new Byakuya. So from that event we might get some new information or some new feats, and with that I can make another video correctly scaling him. With that, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and see you in the next one.